As long as you don't have to open it.
Yeah, that's, that would be, yeah, move it back. Okay.
Rabbi, you've seen the book Haikus for Jews?
I just want to know if you watched any Randy Rainbow. No. Okay. It might be offensive, but we're going to send you.
Well, no, what would he enjoy more? Sorry.
We laugh very hard. And if you enjoy it, then you can.
Yeah, no, I just,
Excellent.
no, I'm looking at this as one of my favorite haikus for Jews is, oh, what a lovely tattoo. Pardon me while I stick my head in the oven.
Can I get kids?
Yeah, get us some customers.
Are they ready? Okay. All right. you're
As
ready?
many as we can get.
Send them in. All right.
Okay.
All right, customers.
Yeah, and we've got 3 more kids coming.
Okay,
And Eve, would like you to participate? Yeah.
you have to be a kid.
Yeah.
So, but we're waiting for 3 more, yeah. Well, no, we'll start it with, no, I'm on top of it. Before we do that, Sue. Okay, we're gonna do that.
Sugar, cinnamon, butter.
Well done.
Three carrots.
Yeah, it's not carrot, but chocolate chip.
Chocolate chips?
They are.
Okay. Okay, Leah.
All right, so kids on that side, first a prayer. I don't know if you know this prayer. It's called Baruch.
Switch down so we have no.
All right, so step 1, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam al natilat yadayim. Okay, al natilat. Praise you, Adonai, our God, who blesses us for washing our hands. Go ahead, wash your hands. Wow. All right, that's why I'm making the prayer. Number 2, anybody know the prayer for writing your name on a little piece of paper? I have no idea. So You're gonna write your name on this little piece of paper so that we can know what you are making, and then it will describe here. Come,
Oh, dear.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have lots of ingredients, so we need,
You can put wherever, Rodan.
Jan, you're not cooking. Come on, come. No, we need lots of hands. All right, you do the next round. Yeah, write your name, just write your name so we know which thing you're making, and we're gonna tell you what you're making here in a minute. I'm going to go by and collect. Once you've got your name. Eric needs a. Oh. All right, I don't want it. Put it in the, put your, right, face up, good. There you go. Dunk. Come on in. Boop.
Oh, wait, this is, we aren't ready for this class. We don't have enough room. Is that okay?
Or if they're here, would you want to make do or
We
what?
have to do it in shifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do, all right.
We can do these.
This group next?
We can do these two groups next.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do guys next. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
We'll come get you in 20 minutes. Thank you. All right. You good? Pull out your dough.
Yeah, I just want that.
Okay, listen up.
All right, we are making Shabbat crowns like you wear on your head, but they mostly aren't going to get as high as your head because they're so tasty. They'll only get this far, right? And so they're made from dough that is challah dough. You all know what challah is, braided bread. What's the prayer for bread? Lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay.
So you need to help with saran wrap.
Okay.
You help do or?
Yeah.
You.
You're probably better at saran wrap ripper. I'm going to hand these out. She lose it.
Oh, and you need to have.
I know. All right. So everybody is going to receive one of these of dough and a card. And put one on top just like that, okay?
Oh, wait and see.
Then comes the fun part. Not yet. Keep them wrapped for the minute. Oh, no. Wait till it wrote in. We'll prefer it if it's cooked. Oh. There's a card. There's a card. There's a card.
This one's too awake. And you need to wake up.
So on average, they have it this way. What's that? That's it.
Switch it to our eating.
1, 2, 3 more. And you need one to work, demonstrate. Oops, sorry. Oh. Hand it to me. Throw me.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the next step? So you're going to demonstrate.
You got your card.
Everybody has a card. You're going to take your lechem, your bread, unwrap it on top of the card.
Yeah, like that. And then-
So spread out your plastic wrap as wide as you can. Connor's got it.
Card is your template. You're gonna spread out your dough so it covers the card.
So demonstrate. Dem- Right.
So you start spreading. it
Look how
out.
she's doing over here. Look. Press with your hand. Just stretch it out with your hands. Try not to rip it. Just press it out. Perfect.
You know what? If it's not behaving well, you can pull it off the saran and plop it down again. Okay?
Perfect. Oh, look, you're a natural. Yeah. Stretch.
My camera is perfect.
Oh, beautiful. Keep push. And you can always stretch out the plastic if you need to.
Just text them to me.
Get your plastic stretched out.
You can take it off.
Go.
Press it on.
Ooh, you're almost there. Almost there.
Oh my God, that's your me. Just like that.
Nice. Look at that. So we got it?
You know how I look back?
We're
Okay.
pretty close. Didn't you say? Oh, you know what? Pull it up. Let's straighten out the dough. Straighten out the plastic. You pull up the dough. Just pull it off. Good. So and now we'll do this. Yeah. You're like a pizza maker. Okay, put it back down. Oh, you got it all tangled. Now you got to start again. Okay. So just press it again. Okay. Keep going. You do it. You got it? Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Keep it. This plastic has a mind of its own, doesn't it? This plastic is not working for us.
You know, stick the plastic to the table.
It's
And
not.
then pick up the, okay, no.
We tried that and the plastic walks all over the place. You flatten it out? Yes.
Here we go. What happened, Ben?
Here.
It's a pizza.
Leave the bread on the table, please.
Come on, you're gonna mess it up, right?
There you go. You have that plastic problem.
To do that, it's-
Good enough? Good enough. All right, what's next?
Next, we want a coating of butter.
All right, so here's a very important word to know about cooking. You know the word schmear. Yes, you do. You know how to schmear. You're going to take some butter and smear across the top, just a light, maybe just this wide. Good.
Butter that.
You-
You're waiting to spread it all over that.
Smear it, right. That's what the recipe says. Here you go. That's your smearer.
All over the place.
I'm trying to get it all up.
There you go.
Good.
Great job.
Just leave it there. That's good enough. Don't worry about the hole. And can you get it all? Can you get the butter all the way around?
Okay.
Good job. Use your hands.
Yeah, don't stick a space in there.
Well, you have to be perfect. Perfect. Well done. All right. So what's next?
Okay,
Next.
put a little bit of brown sugar on, and you may want to use your brown sugar. That's a light coating.
So a little less, half of a spoonful.
So it's covered your butter.
Cover your butter with brown sugar. Can they use your hands?
Yes, use your hands.
Use your hands.
Brown sugar is sticky because it's not acidic, so you don't need to-
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Here's the spoon. Less than that, half.
You have the Baum sugar.
All right, well, put your dirty toy in that. Your hands have been all over it.
You may want to mash that sugar down. Yeah, it's just fingers.
Never even touched this.
You need more brown sugar there. Yeah.
There's probably places in this area where no one has ever touched.
Should I make another tray of brown sugar?
You know.
We're good now.
I think about that when I'm out in the world.
Oh, good brown sugaring. Good brown sugar. Okay, next, Sue.
Next. Okay. This is.
Pay attention. This is important part. This is the fun part.
You take this
Okay.
center and you sit just a little bit of cinnamon on it. Comes out fast.
So
and
just a titch.
Edie will show you what.
Perfect. That's good enough.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Try to make cinnamon.
Good.
No, you're on.
Oh, the wind is blowing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful. And then pass the cinnamon to your neighbor.
Everybody cinnamonize.
Everybody's got it. Well,
No, one more.
Erica, Kyle, Josh, Ben, Leah, Paul,
Thank you.
Sue,
Sue.
and Eric. Okay?
Now it's everybody cinnamonized.
Excellent. Now the fun part. You can put on what you want.
All right, so now it's time for toppings. What do you know? Everybody went for the chocolate chips first.
Hey,
Just seems like
what do you want to put on that? You want chocolate chips?
Tall, yeah, right.
Want chocolate chips, raisins, nuts? What do you want on it?
All right, you can put on more than one thing. You can put on combinations of,
And this.
that's what I would do. That's a good combination. It's a natural combination. Who knows how to say chocolate in Hebrew? Chocolat. What do you say?
I know how to say ice cream in Hebrew, but not chocolate.
Okay,
Nuts.
Same in French.
no, it's the same. It's chocolat. It's the same. It's almost the same as in English. Burp.
Okay.
All right, so you can show them how to roll.
Taking mine here.
Okay.
Okay, and next you're gonna roll it up.
What do I do with the,
Lengthwise. Okay, and this is.
all right, so here's the hardest part of the whole recipe. Coming up.
To.
Watch over here.
Take that long end. And start rolling it.
Roll it up.
Roll it, roll it, roll it. Okay?
Here, so keep rolling. Good. You got the hang of it. Good. Oh, you. Yeah, it's hard to do. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just leave it. Once you've got it rolled, leave it. Once you got it rolled, leave it. Just let go. Stop playing with it. Stop playing with it. Once you get it rolled. Perfect. Perfect. Let me go in front of you. Good. Stop playing with it. Oop.
Okay. Now, we're gonna come by because we're going to.
I get everybody's got a cup, not quite.
Because what happens afterwards?
Now watch.
you Roll it.
Now you roll it like a snail. Roll it like a snail and stick it into the cup. Great. Oh, Sue's got the cup. Great. Now you have to eat all the stuff that got left on your plastic.
No, that's okay. Let me see. Okay.
Best part, right?
Okay.
Oh, it is there.
Right?
You
Fan.
Moon first appeared in 1956. Then he appeared in 1903. Followed by Baum.
Right. And we let these rise, right? I think you're good. I think you disappear and send in your next crew. Don't worry about the mess. We got the mess. The plastic
I had it on my back and so like.
instead of the plastic. The plastic was frustrating. But then they're gonna, then we'll just come by with the scraper. Because it's gonna be all the leftover.
And then I had to get a blood test. And, yeah.
Yes, I've had to as well.
Wait, food cards, yeah. We need the flour? No.
No, I don't.
So we'll just. All right, you guys line up on this side. This side, the other side. Have to do the prayer for washing hands.
Did they wash their hands? They washed their hands and then they played the game while they were waiting, so they probably didn't wash.
All right, so here is the, wait,
Let them go wash.
I'm
their
gonna say the bracha for washing hands. We're showing you how to cook in Jewish by squabbling, right? So this is the Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Kedoshanu b'mitzvotav al natilat yadayim, who has commanded us to wash our hands. Go ahead and wash your hands. Come on in and wash your hands. We've done the prayer for washing hands.
Good, you got the next group.
Yes, it is so boring, but it gets more interesting after this. All right. We need you. Come cook. Yeah, if you're gonna be here, you gotta cook.
Peter has nut allergies,
Oh, yeah.
so he's probably just gonna be a.
Uh, If you want to make one without nuts, it's certainly easy enough to do, or if you're just near a nut.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you can do, Jaden, if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can watch and.
All right, once you're,
It's kind of mixed and you know what, he has on the table and we were to. He did, yeah, Jaden's.
I mean, it's probably fine. It's not like actually, you're not there.
okay, next job.
If you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
You know.
Need you to write your name on that card. And write your name on that little card there.
Babe, her dad tested positive for COVID. And they were with him, and he's okay.
Good? Nope, hold on to it, hold on to it. I'll tell you what to do with it in a minute. I do. All right, I need you to write your name on that card. Go around and write there. There's a pen, write your name. Done? Okay, you want these in a separate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do a second.
How many of you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. We need a sixth person who wants to make one more. You-
Okay, you're welcome to make two. So you should-
All right, so did you write your name yet? Here we go. Okay. Yes, please. Put your name side up in one of the cups. Yep, like that. Good one. Great. Two on one of these.
So we have, make a prediction. What could happen? I would be surprised.
Don't touch it yet.
No, 'cause it's gonna go.
Under the cup.
Paper thingy. It's gonna be. The thingamajiggy. Yeah, no one wants to take on that blue. Thingamajiggy. Yeah. Come on, take me, still.
I know.
He's gonna get a nice break.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That's very good. But we weren't going to use. No, you said it was fine. Good catch. There you go.
We should still.
Already opened it.
Not yet. What is the Hebrew word for bread?
For what?
Bread. Close.
I like that guess.
That's a very good guess. That's for something that is challah. This is dough made of challah. So this is challah. Lechem, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. So while we're about to make bread, we know the blessing for bread. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay, now everybody gets a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6.
This card is, we call it a template, because this is the size, it's a gauge, of how big you want your dough to be.
Right.
So you're gonna open it up, open up your saran wrap now, you can put it on the white table, because. the
Put what
dough-
on it?
The dough.
Okay, so dump, so
Dump your dough on the white table.
give me the saran wrap. You're done with the saran wrap.
It's on your card. And
Right.
Then you start, you take your fingers and you start. pushing
Show
it
it.
out.
You have to show it.
Okay. Okay, you got it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But
Push it out until it's.
as the same size as your card.
Of your template, and you.
Right,
will
and-
find that this dough you can pick up.
And so, yeah, press with your, not with the palms, but with your fingers like this. Okay, go, nice. All right, and then when it starts to, yeah, fingers. Pick it up.
You don't
Doesn't
need a
stick.
steak,
All right,
right? You need to make it, you need to make it this size.
so it's this
So
big.
you gotta
Keep going.
spread it out.
And if it starts to stick, now you got the hang of it. And you know what this is called, right? This is template on Chesed. So,
Okay, this is.
all right, so we need a little help over here.
Skinny, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna pick it up.
Okay, hang on.
Demonstrate.
Right.
Go
All right, good. Pick it up off the table. Yeah, there you go. Stretch, and then so you put it down again. Not stretch this way, but stretch the other way. Let go, let go. You're stretching too far that way. Stop, stop, stop. It's got to go this way. There you go. Yeah, so stretch it more. No. You can't push it. You can only pull it. There you go. Now you got the hang of it. Use your fingertips.
There. What do you think? Put your card on top, see? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I know, so Twig, you're being too rough, too rough, too rough, too rough. Gently, 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 gently.
Does she need another piece?
She does.
Okay. Let's see. Let's make it a little bigger. That way you can get more yummy stuff on. There you go. It's good. Let me-
Beautiful. Okay.
She needs
They're
some-
natural. I don't know. It wouldn't hurt. Good enough? Yeah, give it a couple of patches like that. Perfect. Now you're done. Exactly. The only other thing you could patch is your toughest, right? All right, here's a very, very, very important cooking term. You know this term, schmear?
Yeah.
Schmear. So you're going to take a butter, like this much butter,
And you're gonna.
smear the top. Stop playing with your left hand. Yeah, just enough to cover it. A little bit less maybe, but whatever. Go ahead, you take the exactly that much and smear it across the top. So you have the whole thing covered with butter. You might want a little bit more. Get a little bit more.
Covering the whole thing, you wanna, right? Right?
Nice job. Nice job. Nope, you're good. So get a little bit more in that corner there. Beautiful. You're a natural smearer. What can I say? You're the one I was looking out of the corner of my eye. That was great smearing. All right, over here, get in that corner. Okay, what's next, Sue?
Next, we want to take brown sugar, and you take about this much.
Half a spoonful of brown sugar. Good enough with this.
Fingers to
Press it around.
press around. Yep.
Perfect.
Get this over to Stevie.
Evie, there you go. Oh, you're a natural brown sugar spreader. What can I say? Yeah, exactly. Good enough. Yes. Nope, looks good. Okay, cinnamon time.
Is this good?
All right, next. You're gonna take this, take a little scoop of cinnamon. It's a cinnamon, so it's pretty strong, and you're gonna shake, shake, shake like this over the top. So a little bit of cinnamon. Yep. Good enough. Spread it out. It's hard to control. Nice. Evie, you're also a cinnamon pro. Who knew? Oh, look at this. This is chef's. No, it's perfect. All right, so then put it back. Put it back in here. Okay. All right, now the best part. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you can make what was going to become the filling, you can put on any combination of chocolate, which is Hebrew for, how did you know? Chocolate chips, pecans, what, agos? Yeah, agozim, raisins. That's it. So put on what you want.
Chocolate chips, nuts, raisins.
What do you know? They went right for the chocolate chips. They always go right for the chocolate chips. Well, you gotta put it on first.
You don't want anything on your.
I want a plain one.
Plain one, okay.
plain
I
it.
don't
So you-
Yeah.
the best way to eat the chocolate chips is to put them on there. All right, all right. Pecans. Exactly, if you're from like Sue and they're pecans. You, whatever you want, it's yours. Remember, you're gonna, okay, we're almost coming up to the hardest part. Oh, you're making a cinnamon one. That's gonna be quite spicy. Yeah,
You know what cinnamon tastes like? Spice, a little bit spicy.
it'll be fine.
It's not that spicy.
I like cinnamon.
All right, Sue, load yours up so you can show them how to roll. Yeah.
Maybe my mouth.
Okay, now watch closely, watch closely. This is the hardest part of the whole thing.
You're gonna take one end, you're gonna pick it up, and you're gonna roll this very long snake here.
Just like roll it.
Yeah, roll it into a snake.
Fold it over.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Just yeah, pick one side and just keep coming, keep coming, coming.
Get your shut.
Good. Keep going, keep going. Nice job.
Pull out the end.
Well done. And then anything that falls out, you can eat yourself later. Okay, so pinch it shut. Where is my? You're overfilled.
Pinch and close.
Uh, 2, 3. Yeah, if it doesn't close all the way, don't worry about it. So I'll show you what to do next. Yep, perfect.
Not yet. Did you roll it up?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just put it in there.
put it in your muffin tray, in your muffin cup. All right. Now you're gonna roll it this way like a snake, like a snail. Yep.
Like this? Yeah.
And put them in your cup.
I basically did that already.
So it'll close up if you roll it up like a snail. So just keep going. Nice. And put it in your cup. You're in your cup. You need a cup, right? Gotta find them. Sue, where are the rest of the cups? Okay. All right. Josie, if it's a good one, put it on your name. If it's a bad one, put it on somebody else's name. Okay. All right. Put it on top of your name. Excellent. TV. Great. And, oh, what a beauty. Go ahead. All right. In about
We're gonna let it dry.
45 minutes, we'll come back and eat them. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, see ya.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
This is great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Do you guys need to watch for hands?
Right, so we need
2 ounces. There's some, like, body fat, something like that.
I asked, and they, I think that obviously.
Gosh, I have another cup. Why did I let my, how'd they do?
Wait,
They did well.
really, oh, wait, there's one here too.
That's it. Oh, God.
Hammer. Guys, paper towel.
Lots left.
Lots and lots of dough, so anybody who's out there who wants to make more of these, we would love to help.
Oh, yeah.
Come,
I'll
please.
make more.
You want me, Bobby and Jan are in the other room.
I will see.
Anybody you can find, if you want to make more, we have so much dough.
When eat one of those, roll it out.
No, what we discovered is if you roll it on that, okay, you don't need plastic sheet.
Yeah, cook it hard. Yeah, here we go. Okay, all right. How much more?
There's 2 of it.
Okay.
That's the important part. Yeah, we have.
Yes, if you'd like to make some.
I think I have to sit in the other room and wait to let, what's it, Terry's on, so that I'm on the, I'm in the Zoom room in case, I know it's 10:45, but he said,
So is this not right?
no, yeah, that's correct, so he should be logging on 15 minutes from now. So I should just keep an eye out for it.
Understood.
Police officers are there to let him in.
No, he's
Israel.
He's in Israel.
Oh.
Yeah, but there's also, he'll show up on Israeli time, he'll show up at 10:55.
Oh. What time is it in Israel?
It's either 6 or 7, I think it's 7 hours, so he'll show up at 6 o'clock his time. He will show up at 5.
Okay. You have to say that you were supposed to put it up.
Right, you'll see.
I'll just go back and forth, that way you won't have waited more than a couple of minutes. I hate to like, okay, been sitting there 20 minutes waiting to get on or something, right? So let me check. Yeah, I'll be done.
Ran it out for everyone.
How are they gonna keep track of which is which?
You put their names underneath.
But the ones for the adults, it's just.
Yeah, these are, the rest are just regular names.
Oh.
You wanna make one?
Sure, as long as I can sit every couple of minutes. so
Sure.
Yes.
These were so good.
They were good. And they can be-
Wow.
Not usually.
I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm really watching them and they're like, they listen and they did what they were, they're good kids.
All right. Edie, explain to Janice what she needs to do.
You see what I'm doing, Janice? So you
Make a,
take it
make a rectangle about this big.
From this.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah, just flatten it out.
it's like about that. Okay. And the butter.
This is sourdough bread.
No, this is Sue's famous column.
This is,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
just a hollow recipe, you do a hollow dough.
Mhm.
Put some butter on it.
Here.
I'll take a couple here. Can you use that this end?
Yes, this is the last.
Okay, so this is hollow dough,
Yes. Basically, all of
made with sliced cheese, or
that. Yes. Yes.
I didn't know the reading about it, the sliced cheese. Okay, then what, putting a little cinnamon on it?
Put the brown sugar on it.
Butter.
I put butter on it.
Put butter on it, brown sugar.
You're gonna roll it up. Round it.
Lengthways.
Make a snake, make a snail.
No, but you gotta fill it with all the good stuff first.
Edie, what age do you teach?
The third or fourth graders.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
That's a nice age, I would think.
Yeah.
Nice ages.
They're still managed.
And just
Yeah.
anything from
Any combination, yeah.
More dough?
I'm coming,
Yes.
coming.
Oh, is this mine too?
That's yours.
Oh, okay.
Mine.
Twist it like a snail.
Actually go backwards, so. Why?
I helped with the married out.
There you go, fish two more.
Pizza. I used to work at a pizza shop. Yeah, I made it up. Homemade dough. Absolutely wrong. Pizza.
Yes. You did that before
You know,
you
we
did.
drink the milk.
They're not ready.
What?
They're doing the wedding.
I know, let me get back. Take the next stretch and let me do
I'm good, thank you. It's fun watching.
So we on the bride side or both sides?
We're in the audience side. They're gonna do the whole chair thing. Oh, I don't think they're gonna.
Take a baby chair and put it up for the hora.
Well, maybe they will, I don't
There's a
know,
little
maybe the
chair.
babies, I guess that would be easy to put on the chair.
They have baby chairs in there. Flip them up and, look, you touch it.
Mark,
Yes.
Let me go check, I have to go to this wedding.
See any cooks out there, send them in.
So, how big it should be? I'm wondering what they have any more life like we do now. Hopefully they're not like have a ship up for everybody.
Yeah, right, leave the circumcision.
Or breasts.
Rest, yeah.
Yeah, I asked them how they do that, they have baby day. That's what they start now to do. It's getting married, is it stuffed animals or? Baby doll, baby doll, but they had doll, the doll, first the born. And then like, they had arms off and foot. And now they're getting married. I can dress for weddings. I think it's the weddings. Very casual. We're gonna be very nice. I'm not letting you get out, Lauren, sorry.
Any preference? Yeah.
Yeah, just I have to find a tree. You still like that one, is that?
Let's this out, it's going to that the size of the.
Oh, and the side of her. Just like this is our. Ah.
Josie, she was aware.
Oh, I noticed that too, it doesn't use it.
She
We tried. Yeah, there it shows.
It shows, she knows where it is.
You know, that's right on. So, take a look at it, it's really cute on the hallway. Look at it. I'll be right back. It's normal.
It's that. Just makes you want to cry, do all that is, right?
Oh, my goodness.
So this morning, we're sitting there taking those. Sue turned to me, and I think what it was, we were. So little Jewish country, right? Not just squabble. We argued with the whole thing. Ah, Jewish country.
So water.
And cinnamon. There you go. Brown sugar.
Yeah, it's brilliant. No, we watched. Yeah, yeah. I did not. That the kids came. I was like, I don't.
Graduation, right after, but
Yeah. I'm waiting there. Give me some more, I'll make up for that. Yeah. Yeah, it's too much. But it's good. Go big. Yeah, I said there were a lot of folks in school, Rose has the same school. That was nice.
So much for days a week.
And I guess I'll like roll it up.
Exactly, roll it that way, and then. roll that like that.
Yeah.
Once it seals, when you do the other way, it's sealed.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Keep going. That first one down.
So right here. I've not seen this before. You know, you're right. No and yes, not done. That's good. That's great. And taking their students this summer. But we also, doing what I'm calling, 2020 revenge. We're supposed to travel, so. So, we're going to Provence.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so. I've never been to Portugal, so. Hi, Jackie. Where are the kids making the bread? Oh, you know what, we need to go and. Maybe.
So,
Yeah. Nice.
That's some of the cards. Okay.
I brought my book for, yeah, well, before you leave.
Yeah.
Good, we need an assembly line going. Yeah, very nice.
So if you want that to help, we love to help. You know, to help.
Well, let me go put my stuff down, I'll go wash my hands.
I think that's funny, it's a nice.
Okay, Janice is admitting Tariq. Okay, I'm out.
Great.
Eric, how long do you think the baking for?
Now you got to look the directions, but I think I can see
Yeah.
it.
And I should put the, sugar coating on when there's warm.
I don't know if we did it. Do you need help making more?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, let's have way out some.
Yeah, it should be the scaler. Scaling is fun.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Very cool. Okay, so this is really fun. This is you.
Well, the marriage was successful, so all the best of luck to them.
Sorry. Yeah, so practice, you know, that you take a lot of one, you get better.
One more. and then I gotta go.
Finish this one.
1 minute, Tarek.
You can take my spot. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me now, Tarek, but we're working on the technology to figure out how to get you where we need to get you, but thank you and welcome back to Israel, yeah? You must be
Thank you.
exhausted. I don't know how you're doing. Be back with you in a minute.
So, what you do is you will- I'm gonna take a look. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you get the gist of it. Spread it out about this size. Sugar butter on it. And then brown sugar, some cinnamon. And roll it into a snake. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Warren. Oh, thank you. This is a nice little distraction.
Yeah, which my religious classes with this one.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
I'm very touched. See how good people get.
What did you grow up with? Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
What?
What did you grow up with?
Oh, Catholic. They were pretty boring.
You're not scarred for life, like some Catholics I know.
No, fortunately. Nice. Is this included?
No, that's good.
That's garbage.
Okay, so we got extra. Should I spread them between all of it? Don't say nonsense.
You can, yeah.
You don't say,
So is this enough butter? I just want to make sure my different flowers. And then I'll need cinnamon and whatever toppings.
cinnamon, then brown sugar, then whatever.
Sorry.
Go to the phone.
All right. What do I do next? My big one?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure.
The other side of it.
Yeah, I was watching you. So I know how to do this. Like,
Yeah, we have a more elaborate system, but it's two different.
yeah, this is nice. Good idea. No, that's great. You're right.
On my way out to work, I did snack, well, a couple little pieces of that bread, it was magnificent. So good.
Hello. Harry, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And can you talk a little bit so I get a sound level here?
1, 2, 3.
And these are free to
You
take.
hear me?
Yes, yes.
Little cinnamon, little
Yeah,
brown
we're good.
sugar.
Okay.
You got your
Perfect.
I know.
Chocolate, that's what I got, chocolate.
What time is the school dinners? I'll put this in between us.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. So people are just arriving and we'll
Oh, boy.
get started shortly. How
How
are you?
It's been a long time. Okay, I will.
I'm okay, doing well.
I'm trying
Yeah,
Glad
I
to see
will
you.
get to remember.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go check on what's happening. Eric, you're right back.
So, pull that.
He's on the golf course.
Nice light.
I got it off the shop and he wants.
Which golf course is it?
Taco is right there around the corner, so and that's the, now that we're there.
Yeah, that's nice. Such a long adventure, put it all together, right?
Right. Did you build a house? Yes.
Oh.
That one. Yes, so. Greenhouse. It really is. It's just right for us, you know, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, all one floor. You have lower level bedroom, bathroom, you know, you have an extra bedroom upstairs, so each kid can come home and have their own space. Nice Thanksgiving. We were able to feed 16 people and have 5 dogs.
Wow.
And it was okay, and it was okay, you didn't lose your mind.
Yeah, I guess they really make all the dough.
No, I mean, they didn't all stay in my house, only my kids, you know, and their partners stayed. Right.
Everything okay out there?
Yep.
Looking good in here.
was a very nice wedding.
Thank you.
What did they break? Was it a plastic cup?
Did they ever cook the forward? Did it lift them up in the chairs or anything like that?
Well, we had the babies in the air.
It did? Okay.
Yes, we didn't want to put the children.
No, no, that's what I was thinking, the baby.
No, no,
That's not what I was, that's what I was thinking when I said that.
Aw.
Yeah. Speaks to me all day,
We're blowing them up.
you know.
I remember spring Julie's wedding. I was watching Julie's face and she was. She, definitely wanted to do it, but I could tell that she was like a little nervous.
All I know is at our wedding, they looked at Bob and they all walked away. Nope, not going there. We're not going there. We're gonna be the dark.
I don't know why.
I know. It'll be one of those life cycle events that just didn't happen.
I don't know, maybe your kids wedding will get loved.
Well, not their wedding.
Hmm?
Their kids were not around when they got married.
I know, that their kids wedding.
That's the kids' wedding.
I'm trying to picture them going in there saying.
I know, looking at Jacob like.
Oh, we're not asking him. We're not asking him, it's gonna happen.
I'll put you in charge, how about that?
Uh-huh.
Nice call, Jim.
I'll put you in charge.
Right?
Yesterday evening was a little interesting. I hope that Josie's party wasn't outside. I mean, Rose's party.
No, it was inside, it was actually lovely. Negro Country Club and it was lovely.
Oh, the Medfield Country Club.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's really good.
yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna start.
Oh, there's already
Torrential
already.
rain. Torrential rain.
How much more do we need to do?
Yeah, I think like you.
We got two more. And if
But
you're
it
tired.
was pretty good.
No, I just wanna listen to as much of this as I can.
Yeah, oh, you know, I can take over because I have got to find the date, so you two should,
Oh, it's the talks.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, thank you for the compliment.
I really didn't do that much. Hey, next time give me a call. I'd be more than happy to come early and help. I explain.
So, getting a microphone.
Jackie came to help clean up.
I'm gonna go listen to the talk. And then I can come back after the talk and I'll clean up.
No, it's gonna be cleaned up by then.
I usually clean up, I'm actually a very good clean as you cook. I am very good.
We're good.
All right, we're all gonna be here.
Hello. I think the rabbi is grabbing everybody.
Okay.
Is this mic live?
Yes.
Okay.
We are good. Okay, we're
All
ready?
right.
All right, thank you.
Tarek, you've been so patient. Thank you. And you look so alert for a man who has just flown across 10 time zones. I don't know how you're doing it. Exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds ago, I was asked to introduce Dr. Tarek Abu Hamid. And I realized my discomfort on Friday night when I was introduced as the scholar in residence, and that the two things I have never been called in my life, one is a scholar and the other is a gentleman. Dr. Tarek Abu Hamid is both of those things and has my great respect. From years and years ago when he was teaching Carlin Arish, do you remember Carlin, who learned solar energy from you back before the sun was even invented, and you have gone on to help just really promote sustainable energy, sustainability, sustainable development, and now peace and environment. And you are exactly the right person to be the director of the Machon Arava, the Arava Institute for Environmental Studies. And I will be quiet because really what you want to do is hear Dr. Abu Hamid talk about the Institute. Thank you so much for making the time. Okay, you're on, and I'm off.
Okay, thank you so much, Eric. And it's really great pleasure to be with you tonight. Before I start, I would like really to thank Rabbi Marias and the Temple of Anshe Chesed for hosting me tonight. My name is Tarek Abu Hamid. I am a Palestinian from East Jerusalem. I'm the executive director of the Arava Institute for Environmental Studies. I joined the institute in 2008. We established the Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Conservation. I managed that center for 5 years, lived in the kibbutz with my family in Kibbutz Keturah with my family for 5 years. Then we decided to go back to live in Jerusalem. At that time, I worked at the Ministry of Science and Technology, the Israeli Ministry of Science and Technology. I established the unit of engineering research. Then I became the vice chief scientist and the acting chief scientist for 3 years. And the 3 years at the ministry were enough for me. I missed my students, I missed my lab. I decided to go back to the Arava Institute as the academic director. And since last August, I'm the executive director of the Arava Institute. In the coming hour or less, I'll talk to you about the work that we do at the Arava Institute. The Arava Institute, established in 1996 after the peace treaty with Jordan. We are located in Kibbutz Keturah, which is 30 miles north of Eilat, in the heart of the Arava Valley. We do many things at the Arava Institute, mainly environmental cooperation, transboundary work between Israel and its neighbors. Why do we do that? So what is lacking in the Middle East? Do we lack peace treaties? There are many peace treaties and normalization agreements between Israel, its neighbors, and some of the Gulf countries and Morocco. So we have plenty of these. So do we lack energy resources? No. We have wind, we have enough sun, we have enough space, enough desert that can provide us with the electricity that we need. Is water scarcity a challenge in our region? Yes, it is, but we have the right technology to produce our own water by the reverse osmosis technology for the water desalination. What is lacking in the Middle East is trust. Trust between the people who live in the Middle East. Trust between people, not between governments. We need peace not on paper. We need peace on the ground. We need peace between Palestinians, Israeli, Jordanian, Emirati, Saudis. We need peace that is done and conducted between people themselves. And in order to do that, we have to build the trust, the understanding of each other. And this is what we try to do at the Arava Institute. We try to use science, we try to use research, we try to use the environment to connect between the people of the region. Once you build the trust, cooperation becomes very easy, and peace becomes just a technical issue. So what's lacking in the Middle East is trust, and this is what we try to do at the Arava Institute. So what is the Arava Institute? The Arava Institute is an academic and research institution. We are interdisciplinary program. Students come to the Arava Institute for 1 or 2 semesters. We provide undergraduate credit through Ben Gurion University of the Negev or Bennington College in Vermont. Also, we provide an internship program where interns come and do research in one of the research centers that we have at the institute. Our student body is 1/3 Jewish Israelis, 1/3 international students, and 1/3 Arab students, Palestinians, Israeli Arabs. When I say Palestinians, I mean from the West Bank and Gaza, Jordanians, and sometimes we have students from Morocco. Each student comes to the Arava Institute and take 4 to 5 courses. International students, mainly North Americans, come to the institute, spend 1 semester, and they go back to their university in the US to complete their degree. Arab students come to the Arava Institute to pursue graduate studies in Israel. Usually they have a first degree and they come to Israel to do master's or PhD. And I'm very proud to say that the vast majority of Palestinians and most of the Jordanians who did or currently conducting graduate studies in Israel came to Israel through the Arava Institute. And the Jewish Israeli students, mainly after the army, they finish the army and they come to the Arava Institute, spend 1 semester, take courses, and then they go and get involved in one of the universities in Israel. Through the academic program, we build the trust. Academic excellence is very important to us, but we also want to use the academics to build the bridges between the students. We have capacity for 62 students. Currently, our dorms can hold 62 students, and currently we're expanding the campus to enlarge the impact that we have in the in the region. When we talk about environment in the region, always politics rise, water rights, who caused the pollution, who's in charge of finding a solution for the environmental challenges. And there's always tension between the students themselves. But we are located in the middle of nowhere, in the desert, in a kibbutz. Students use the same classroom, the same dining room of the kibbutz, and at the end of the day, they go and share a room. So they discuss, they shout, they cry, but they have no place to go. And they spend 4 months together. In order to have a healthy academic program, we provide the students with seminar called Peace Building Seminar, where students discuss the Independence Day, the Nakba, politics, religion. They share family stories. Palestinians share their experience of living in the refugee camp. Israeli students share their experience in the army. At the end of the semester, they understand that there is another narrative, that there's another version of the story. They not necessarily agree with each other, but they understand each other. And once you have that understanding, trust becomes very easy. The involvement of the students with the Araba Institute doesn't end at the end of the academic year or the semester. We have alumni network. We have an annual conference where the alumni come, discuss ideas, initiate joint projects. We hold this conference almost every year, except the years of COVID. Once in Tel Aviv, once in Aqaba in Jordan, or sometimes in Beit Jala in the West Bank, and we have more than 1,500 alumni around the region. Most of them stay in the environmental field. They become Knesset member advisors. They work in the EPA. They work at the Palestinian government. Some of them established non-governmental organizations. Many renewable energy companies in Palestine and also in Israel were established by the alumni of the Araba Institute. We also have several research centers. As I said, we try to focus on transboundary environmental issues that cross the border. And we believe at the Araba Institute that nature knows no borders. Pollution, air pollution or water pollution doesn't stop at the checkpoint or in the border. So we have 5 research centers: the Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Conservation. We have the Center for Sustainable Agriculture. We have the Center for Arid Social Ecology, the Center for Transboundary Water Management, and we have the Jordan-Israel Center for Community Environment and Research. In these centers, we cover the whole spectrum of research, from basic research to applied to research and development, and we do also a lot of work with the communities. Besides these research centers, we have also a research park where we demonstrate off-grid technologies that developed by the Araba Institute or by Israeli companies. These technologies serve the developing world in water purification, water desalination, solar electricity production, fuel production, solar pumping, solar desalination. And we implement some of these projects also in Africa. When I became the executive director, I had 3 focus points. I want to advance the work that the Araba Institute, to keep the Araba Institute the leading organization in transboundary environmental cooperation. But as I said, I have 3 focus points. One of them is to put all the research centers that we have at the Araba Institute under the umbrella of the climate change. The Middle East is considered a hotspot when it comes to climate change. Climate change impacts our region more than any region around the world. We are situated between Africa and Europe, and any change in the climate in the south and the north impact us significantly. That's why we want to establish this center. This is what you see here is actually the location of the Araba Institute in Kibbutz Keturah, 30 miles from the Negev, and the picture on the left shows the expansion of the campus. This new campus will have classrooms, dormitories for the students, conference center, And this building will have the LEED Gold certificate. It's a building that will generate its own water, desalinate the water, treat the wastewater, generate its own electricity to have hydroponics, aquaponics. Students will live in such a campus, and we call this a living lab. Students will learn these technologies and they will apply them when they go back to their communities. We are located in, as I said, 30 miles from Aqaba, 32 miles from Taba, Egypt, maybe 40 miles from Saudi Arabia, and half an hour from Tel Aviv with the Ramon Airport. And we have 25 or 26 years of transboundary experience, environmental cooperation experience. Our geographic location is excellent for such establishment of a center, and the experience we have actually puts us on the spot when it comes to regional cooperation. My second focus is the Abraham Accords to strengthen the relationship between Israel and the Gulf countries and Morocco. And we already signed an agreement with an organization in the United Arab Emirates, and we started research and scientific cooperation with several universities in Morocco. My third priority or third focus point is strengthening the shared society within Israel. We've been into this field for 25 years, and we focused on environmental cooperation between Israel and its neighbors, and we kind of ignored what's happening within Israel. So my focus is to strengthen the research between the Arava Institute and the Israeli Arab Research Organizations. And I also want to increase the number of Israeli Arab students at the institute by bringing more Israeli Arabs from the Galil, from the north, and also from the Bedouin community. So the focus on the Bedouin women. And last semester, we had our first Bedouin woman in our program. So these are my three focal points. How does the Arava Institute use the environment or the environmental challenges to strengthen the peace or to build trust? As I said, we do a lot of basic research, applied research, and we do a lot of work with the communities. And in the coming slides, I'll show you some of the projects that we have. The Arava Institute managed to send into Gaza 3 atmospheric water generators. It's an Israeli technology. It's an Israeli company called WaterGen. This device produces water from air. Why do we do that? Because 96% of the groundwater has become unfit for human consumption. It's not good for drinking or for any other use. The solution is to use this technology to generate water from air. We did not develop this technology. Our role was just the facilitation between the Israeli army, the civil administration in Israel, and our partners in Gaza. We partnered in this project with an organization called Damour. It's based in Ramallah, and they have also an office in Gaza. We managed to send 3 systems. One of these systems is installed in in the second largest hospital in Gaza. The second was in a clinic, and the third one is in a certain neighborhood called Abasan. During the last war with Gaza last May, we've been in touch with our Gazan partners, asking them, can you please send us photos of the systems? Are they functioning? Anything happened to them? They said we cannot reach the systems because of the war. Roads are blocked. The war ended in Erev Shabbat on Friday evening. Saturday morning, we received photos of people standing in line, filling water from these systems. On Monday, 3 days after the war, we received 5 requests from 5 different municipalities in Gaza asking for such systems. This seems like an easy mission, but as an Israeli organization, to be in touch with our Palestinian partners in Gaza during the war, and immediately after the war to receive 5 requests from 5 municipalities, this shows the level of the trust that we managed to build with our Gazan partners. Another main challenge in Gaza is the wastewater treatment. Gaza suffers from the lack of electricity. And because of that, they cannot treat the wastewater. So what happens to that wastewater? They either dump it into the fields or they dump it into the Mediterranean. And the streams in the Mediterranean, they are south-north, and that pollution reaches the shores of Ashkelon. And Ashkelon is the house of one of the largest desalination plants in the Middle East. When you have organic waste, when you have wastewater in the sea, you cannot treat the seawater. You cannot desalinate the seawater. And because of that waste that coming from Gaza, the Ashkelon desalination plant had to close or stop functioning for several days last year. So we managed to send into Gaza an off-grid wastewater treatment plant that treats the wastewater for a certain neighborhood in Gaza. And the treated wastewater is used by a group of women to grow animal feed, and that creates jobs and income for the communities. When we conduct projects in any place in the world, in the Negev, in Africa, in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jordan, we take sustainability very seriously. When I say sustainability, it's not sustainability of the technology itself, but also the concept, the social sustainability. We brought into Israel 2 groups of Gazan engineers and technicians, and we trained them on how to use these systems. We trained them on the water, energy, food nexus. They spent 2 weeks at the Arava Institute in Petah Tikva, in the companies that produce these technologies. And everything was conducted in full coordination with the civil administration in Israel. And you can see the approval of the civil administration and the wastewater treatment plant while crossing the Keren Shalom from Israel into Gaza. It's really important to mention that these systems are off-grid. That means they use solar energy and batteries to produce electricity, to store electricity, and to run these systems. So these systems are not connected to the grid in Gaza, and they do not rely on the electricity that's generated in the Gaza Strip. And here, these photos are during the construction of the wastewater treatment plant in Gaza. Another major project that we conduct in Palestine or in the West Bank, it's the Al-Bire wastewater treatment plant. Here in the map, I don't know if you see my mouse, you see green line. The beginning of the green line is in Al-Bire. Al-Bire is a city near Ramallah. It has an excellent wastewater treatment plant, high quality. It treats the wastewater of Al-Bire and Sagot, which is a Jewish settlement in the West Bank. It treats the water with very high quality, and the treated wastewater just flows through Wadi al-Ain, the green line, and it mixes with the red line that comes from Kufr Aqab and Kalandia, which is under the responsibility of Jerusalem municipality. That means the treated high quality water mixes with untreated wastewater, and both of them become polluted, and they continue to flow toward the Jordan Valley. And if you visited the Jordan Valley, in the way from Jerusalem to the Jordan Valley, you pass beside Wadi al-Kilt and the nice springs there. Wadi al-Kilt and the aquifer there and the springs are polluted with this wastewater, that comes from Kufr Aqab. And the treated wastewater is not used by anyone. This project was a priority for both Israel and the Palestinians, but because they do not talk to each other, this project was stuck for more than 20 years. The Arava Institute managed to bring the civil administration, which is an Israeli organization, with the Palestinian Water Authority. And we had a tour with the officials from both sides through the Jordan Valley, and we agreed to build a trunk line that will take the treated wastewater from Al-Bire toward the Jordan Valley to be used by the Palestinian partners. So our role at the Arava Institute was just facilitation, bringing people together. This took us more than 3 years to have this photo with the engineers and the officials from both sides. We finalized the engineering plan, and currently we are applying to get the permission to build the trunk line that will take the treated wastewater, send it into Jericho, into the Jordan Valley, Valley to be used by the farmers there. And as I said, sustainability is very important to us, and that's why we established the Water Users Association, so the Farmers Association, to use the water that will come from the Alberia. We want to do training for farmers on how to use the water. So we work to ensure that the water will be used equally and used in the right way in the Jordan Valley. Another project that we do is a joint project between the Arava Institute and Oxford University, Oxford Martin School. And the goal of this project is to build a model. We want to do modeling for the water, energy, food ecosystem nexus. How this nexus will look like in 2030 for every country in the region, Palestine, Israel, Jordan. How will it look like if there is cooperation, if there is a conflict, and how this nexus will actually look like in 2050, how the water will be produced and consumed, how the water impacts the energy sector, how the energy sector impacts the water and the food nexus. Another project that we conduct in Gaza is the solar panel batteries. Gaza, as I said, there's a lack of electricity in Gaza. They receive 3 to 8 hours of electricity a day. And because of that, many houses in Gaza use solar energy to produce electricity when there is no electricity from the grid, and they store this electricity in batteries. Usually batteries in Gaza, they are low quality and they die in 1 or 2 years. And this solid waste is a serious challenge for Gaza itself and also for the aquifer that is shared between Israel and Gaza. Because batteries, they contain acid, they contain lead, and they just dispose them into the streets. Some workshops collect them to extract the lead, and that's a major public health problem in Gaza and also pollutes the ground water, the aquifers that share between Israel and the Gaza Strip. And here we want to facilitate between the authorities in Gaza or the solar energy users and the environment services company in Israel to take the waste batteries from Gaza to bring them into Israel and to treat them in Ramat Chova, where they treat chemicals and hazardous waste. We also work in the West Bank, in the Negev, many communities in the developing world. And one of the technologies that we developed, the Center for Transponder Water Management developed, is what we call the vertical green wall. It's a system that treats wastewater without producing any solid products, without any sludge. It's an off-grid system, high-tech system that can be monitored and controlled remotely from a cell phone or from a laptop. This system is modular. It can serve a house, it can serve a neighborhood, and it can serve a town. It treats the water to very high quality. Currently, we are testing that at the Arava Institute, and we are piloting this concept in northern West Bank to serve a village called Asir al-Shamaliya, where the villagers will treat the wastewater, and the treated wastewater will be used for irrigation and help farmers to get more water. Another project is in the Jordan Valley, that we have solar desalination plant that desalinate the brackish water in the Jordan Valley, and that helps the farmers to get high quality water, to have more crops, and to be able to plant new crops, introduce new crops because of the quality of water in the Jordan Valley. In the past, the Arava Institute used to chase Palestinians and Jordanians to cooperate with us. And today, because of the credit or the record that we have in the region and the amount of trust that we managed to build between people to people, Israelis and Palestinians and Jordanians, now we receive partnership requests from Palestinians and Jordanians. Another amazing project that we have, and we are the first organization in the Middle East to start such a technology, it's called agrivoltaics. It's the dual use of land for agriculture and for energy production. So we want to plant, we want to have farming under the photovoltaic panels, as you see in this photo. PV panels create shading on the plants, and that shading actually helps the water conservation. The water evaporation is less. When you have plantation below the photovoltaic panels, that decrease the temperature of the photovoltaic panel and increase their efficiency. The electricity that is generated in the farm will be used for water desalination. The aquifers in the desert are saline aquifers, and that limits the amount or the number of the type of crops farmers can grow in the excuse me, in the Arava Valley. So this technology actually helps conserve water, introduce new crops into the region, and at the same time generate electricity. That means it's a connection between energy, food, and water nexus, and this is exactly what we need to cope or tackle climate change mitigation and adaptation. And this is a photo from the pilot that we have in the Arava, where we managed to plant several types of crops, and we did not see any difference in the biomass, the fruit, the content of the fruit, which is great result. I will stop here, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And I want really to express the people-to-people work. That's probably one of the most important and successful ways or methods to connect between people, to use research, to use science, the science diplomacy or the environmental diplomacy to connect between people and build trust. And once we build the trust, peace becomes, just as I said, a matter of time or just a technicality. Thank you very much.
Tariq, thank you so much. And I think that all too often, the news media and what we see on TV portrays, in detail the conflict and not the beautiful experiences that we see today. So we're happy to open it up to questions or comments. Anybody? Yeah, Bruce.
What's the long-term projection for climate change in the region?
Bruce, I'm going to ask you to come and use the microphone if you want to ask a question so that our guests can hear it properly, and also those joining us on live stream can as well.
What's the long-term projection on climate change for your region, like for the next 25, 50 years? What are they projecting will happen?
Okay, very good question. As I said, the Middle East is considered the hot spot when it comes to climate change. The temperatures that we have in the region, or the increase in the average temperature, we already passed the 1.5, which is the goal for many countries around the world to keep this target alive. The region is already suffering from heat waves, from floods, from droughts, scarcity of rain, receiving rain on wrong places like deserts, and we already suffering from climate change. It's not in 25 or 30 years. It's happening today, and many of the researchers or research results show that the Middle East will be inhabitable by 2050. Temperatures will reach 50 centigrades in many cities in the region. That's why at the Arava Institute we try to actually develop the right technologies to do the right cooperation on water, energy, food nexus. People already feel climate change and their electricity and water bills. Cooperation is a must for a country like Israel, which is considered an energy island. Israel is not connected to any country in the region. The grid, the electrical grid in Israel is not connected to Jordan, it's not connected to Egypt, it's not connected to Syria or Lebanon. We hear that thousands of people die every year in Europe because of heat waves. They die in Europe, it's not because they don't have electricity. Europe has the shared network. It's connected to each other. Countries are connected to each other in Europe. They die because they don't have air conditioners. People in Israel have air conditioners, but Israel is an energy island. The grid is only within Israel. God forbid, during a heat wave because of the climate change, and we faced several heat waves in the past, and they produced electricity. The peak, we reached the peak several times last year. If God forbid, if a heat wave happens and a cyber attack or technical problem happens in the Israeli electricity grid, thousands of people will die because of that heat wave. So cooperation on these things are very important, and that's what we try to do at the Arava Institute.
All right, great. And there's another climate question, but just to translate the number of heat waves, he's talking about 50 degrees centigrade. That's about 125 degrees Fahrenheit. That's beyond human
Yes.
survivability. Yeah, it really is beyond. So we have I don't know that you can see our chat, Tariq, but the question is, moved by your talk, thank you. You mentioned Arava's movement toward 2030 and 2050. The UN has estimated that there will be 1 billion climate refugees by 2050. How is the Arava Institute addressing this issue of immigration? I know that we already are seeing climate refugees moving into Israel, and in your holistic picture on sustainability, what's your next research center going to be?
Okay, the next research center is, as I said, the Regional Climate Change Research Center, and this is totally true. Look to what happened in Syria. People had to move from the north to Damascus to find jobs. Farmers had to move from the south and the north to Damascus because of the lack of water, because of the droughts. They moved to Damascus. They couldn't find job, and the rise up or the Arab Spring started because of that. And many people believe that the climate refugees started the Arab Spring in Syria. It's expected that millions, tens of millions of people in the delta of the Nile Delta, will suffer from floods in certain seasons and droughts in many regions. And we know the delta is the food basket of Egypt, and it's expected to have like 20 million people leaving that region to other countries in Europe and maybe also into Israel. What we do at the Arava Institute is connecting the water, energy, food nexus, using renewable energy to produce water, to produce electricity, to use that water and electricity to produce food, to have wastewater treatment plants, off-grid treatment plants in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jordan, to provide people with more water that can be used for food production. These technologies that developed at the Arava Institute and the cooperations that done between the Arava Institute in Israel and Israel's neighbors is a key solution to fight climate change, to use environmental diplomacy. Climate change is not a problem or a challenge that one country can solve. No country alone can deal with the climate change. It's a global issue, and international cooperation is a must. And regional cooperation in the Middle East also is a must. Many countries in North Africa and also in the Middle East, they have similar climate like Israel, and we are situated or located in a very unique region, in a very unique time. And Israel has the right technology, has the right agri-tech, climate tech, green tech, that many countries in the region want to learn and want to adopt and use in their countries. And it's what we try to do at the at the Arava Institute, introduce these technologies to the developing world and to the neighboring countries of Israel.
That's great. I'm going to ask one question while I'm waiting for Lauren to come up, who's a real scholar and colleague. But while Lauren's coming up, I do have a question. Is there hope of bringing Egyptian students back into the fold? I know at some point the Arava Institute had pretty good cooperation with Egypt, and now it's fallen off. But will they come back?
Yes, in the past we had Egyptian students, and this is something really that we want to strengthen. We had applications from Egypt, and we managed to issue permits by the Israeli internal ministry to get visas for the Egyptians, but the Egyptian government did not allow them to leave Egypt. We're working on that with the consulate in Eilat, the Egyptian consul in Eilat, and we would like to strengthen that side. And by the way, we're planning to have an active part in COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh. The Arava Institute is planning to be very active there before that and also after the COP.
Terrific. I want you to listen very carefully to this question because Dr. French here is somebody you want to invite to come be in residence at the Arava Institute. She really is very good.
Yeah, Eric asked me during my tenure interview, like what I thought I might like to do in the future for a sabbatical. And I said, I'd like to go to the Arava, but I teach neuroscience, which doesn't, so I'd be a student, I think, more than anything. I'm curious. So I'm curious about the educational program that you described. And I'm wondering, when you have the students there, do they take classes? Are they working directly in those research centers on particular projects? Is it a combination? I'm just hoping you can tell us a little more about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. As I said, we're an academic and research institution. Students come to the Arava Institute and they take courses. They take between 4 to 5 courses. And at the end of the semester, they get transcript issued by Ben Gurion University of the Negev or Bennington College, and they transfer the credits to their own university. What's unique about the academic program at the Arava Institute, all the courses that we teach at the Arava Institute are taught by experts in the field. So the water class is taught by Clive Lipchin, who's the director of the Transponded Water Management. Renewable energy is taught by me. Sustainable agriculture by Elaine. So our faculty members teach what they are expert in. In most of the courses, students have to do a project. This can be theoretical, literature review, or a practical project, and they present a project at the end of the semester. And we have also 2 courses that through them we teach students how to do research. We call this course research methodologies, where students learn how to collect data, how to analyze data, how to interview people, how to present their ideas, how to prepare proposal, how some of them also learn how to write research proposal. So they are involved with the centers that we have at the Arava Institute. And it's very important to mention that students and interns, they live on campus. Interns do research in the research centers, students take courses. And because they live with each other, students are exposed to the most of the research that we conduct at the Arava Institute. And we also have, during the semester, we have 2 trips. One is the multi-narrative trip, where students go to the Negev, to Jerusalem, to Yad Vashem, refugee camps, talk to Knesset parliament members, and they're exposed to the reality of the Middle East. And the second trip, we call it Water, Energy, Food Nexus, where they go through the Arava Valley, see the farms, we go to the Kinneret, the environmental challenges of the Kinneret, they see the technologies that we develop in the Jordan Valley, and also in every class they have field trip for that class. So it's really like real experience. It's not only education in the classroom, it's also education on the grass, in the dome. And I meet the students every semester twice, 2 times, and I give them the director update on the projects that we conduct with our partners in Palestine, United Arab Emirates, and Morocco. So students do academics, but they are very exposed to the work that we do. And before COVID, when we used to organize conferences at the Araba Institute, students used to take that day off and just participate in the conference and meet the various people that they come to the conference.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
More questions from home or from here? Comes one.
So Tariq, I'm curious also about your own, personal life and your own story, and how a Palestinian from East Jerusalem came to be in your position. I think it's just a wonderful and fascinating experience, and I think we'd love to hear more about you.
Well, thank you. Look, I'm not a black sheep, and I believe that most of the Palestinians and Israelis want to really strengthen the shared society, and they want peace in the region. I grew up in East Jerusalem in a village called Surbaher. Now it's not a village; it's a town. For those who know Jerusalem, it's very close to Ramat Rahel or Arman Ratzib or Tel Piot. And when I was at the high school, I used to volunteer and work in Kibbutz Ramat Rahel. And that was my first experience with my Jewish neighbor. That was my first exposure to my Jewish neighbor that I see from my home window or from the bus that I used to take when I go to the high school. So that experience stayed inside me. It was a great experience for me. I left East Jerusalem and I went to Turkey. That was during the first Intifada, when the political tension was very high. I lived in Turkey for 12 years. I returned to Israel. I worked at the Weizmann Institute for 3 years. Then left Israel to Minnesota, to Minneapolis. I worked at the university there for 2 years. And Minneapolis is very cold, and I decided to leave Minneapolis and to go to the desert where the sun is.
We understand. We understand.
And actually, the main reason that I decided to leave Minneapolis and go to the Arava, because the Arava Institute is a place that uses, as I said, environment as a bridge to connect between people, and also because it's located in Kibbutz Ktura, and they wanted to give my daughters the same experience I had in Kibbutz Ramat Rahel, to have first-hand experience with their Jewish neighbors, to live in the Jewish community, to learn their traditions, to strengthen the shared society. We lived there for 5 years, and these 5 years were the best 5 years, and I think in my family's life. My wife still has her friends in the kibbutz. My daughters, they have friends in the kibbutz. They go to bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs for weddings. Every summer we go to the Arava, and every school break we go to the Arava. I'm a strong believer in the importance of science to connect between people. I think none of us in Israel and the region, and then also in the US, the privilege or the luxury to give up. We have to speak loud. We have to fight to implement things that we believe in. I believe in peace. I believe in shared society, and I also believe that most of the people who live in this region believe in that, but they do not speak loud enough. They do not fight enough to make this happen. So I don't have the luxury to sit aside or just wait for the peace to the peace to come. No, we have to do things that we believe that make the change on the ground.
Yeah, I think the political issues are so complex and so ingrained that the only way to make any progress is to have it be a person-to-person and ground up and shared experience between everybody living in that, little area that is so filled with energy. We have a question that says, wondering what the LGBTQ inclusion is like in Arava. And then by extension, in your experience within both the academic community in Israel and in larger social networks.
Again, can you, I missed the first sentence of the question?
I'm sorry. The question was wondering about what the LGBTQ inclusion is like in the Arava Institute, perhaps, or larger in larger academic settings in Israel in general. If you can, if you have any ideas or speak to that.
It's not an issue at all at the Arava Institute. They are a part of the system, part of the kibbutz, part of our research centers. So they are included in most of the activities we do. And we do our maximum actually to keep the balance within our student body. I am a minority. I'm a double minority actually at the Arava Institute because I'm Arab, and the second minority is we probably have 20% male employees, and the rest are females. And the student body probably 60% women and 40% male. We want to increase this percentage also within the Bedouin community, with the Bedouin students that come to the Arava Institute, to focus on more Bedouin women into our program.
Okay. Other questions? So if you had to pick two things that you'd like to see happen, what would they be?
A lot of things actually, but the first thing will be really to see what we used to see in 1986, where you were not able to differentiate if that's Jewish, Muslim, Christian. I'm not talking about Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. I'm talking about Gaza. I'm talking about Bethlehem. To see people visiting cities, be one community, people act as humans. And the second thing that I would like to see is actually the level of carbon dioxide emissions go back to the levels of the 40s or the 50s, and the wide use of clean technologies to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions. That this is one of the major disasters that we have now.
Tarek, I have one more question for you. Right now, you're averaging about 60 students per semester. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what is the goal for enlarging the school? How many are you hoping?
Yeah, we actually, the first phase of expansion will help us to grow to 95 students, and the second phase will be 150 students a semester. The first phase, we hope to implement that within 2 to 3 years, and the second phase between 5 to maybe 7 years. That's why we are now finalizing the plans to expand the campus, to build the new campus, which will serve actually, as I said, the living lab, and will be the house of the regional climate change research center. And for that, we need your support to send us more students to visit our website and see many of the projects that I was not able to talk about today, and to visit the website of the Friends of the Arava Institute, which is based in Boston, and help us to fundraise for the amazing activities that we do at the Araba Institute.
Great, and you'll be keeping the same ratio of about 1/3 Israeli Jewish students and 1/3
Yes.
Arab students and 1/3 American.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really important to mention that our tuition is $10,000 a semester, which is much cheaper than the US. Arab students and some Israelis cannot afford that, and we provide all Arab students and some of the Israelis with full scholarship. And we also have a few scholarships for American students to come to study at the Araba Institute.
Good. Okay. It must be time for our Khader for you, time for dinner. Yeah.
Tariq, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's really great honor and pleasure to be with you this evening or this morning.
And we are thrilled to be able to do that and to honor Imgard's memory and her dedication and her brilliant insights into, making sure that these experiences and these messages continue to be shared and so that we can learn from them. So I want to thank you for all of your help. And Eric, I want to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Eric bravely taught all of our Gesher students this morning, along with Sue. Where's Sue?
Sue just walked out with a plate of desserts, so
Okay.
she went that way. We want to follow
We
her.
want to follow her. I don't know
We
where
want
she
to
went.
follow her, yeah.
But thank you, Sue, for all of your help wherever you are.
There she goes,
There we
still
go.
walking around carrying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. We enjoyed this tremendously, and we're looking forward to perhaps visiting you on a trip soon.
Amen, inshallah. Looking forward.
Okay.
Okay. Take
Bye-bye,
care.
stay safe.
Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Hello, Andrew.
Hey,
Eli,
Walter,
how are
I'm-
you?
I'm good. Are we now going to be recorded on YouTube?
I think we're done.
Oh, it's so good to see you. You look
Isn't it good to see
fabulous.